Here he is. They dragged him out into the courtyard, where the whole compound could see. And the chief pointed a shaking finger at the man who had guarded his gate for 11 years. "You entered my father's old barn," the chief said. "And you stole from this family. We have proof." And the old gateman, a man named Baba Musa, fell to his knees in the dust and said the only thing he could say. "I have not touched that barn in 11 years. Not once." "Pack your things," the chief said. "You are finished here." And just like that, 11 years of loyalty was thrown away in one morning over a lie somebody else told. Something was wrong. You could feel it in the air, the way the birds went quiet, the way the other workers looked away instead of looking at him. Because deep down, everybody knew Baba Musa was not a thief. But nobody said a word. If you are watching this, I want you to ask yourself something. Have you ever been blamed for something you did not do, while the real guilty person stood there and said nothing? Keep that feeling close, because this story is about to take you somewhere you will not expect. Before we continue, drop the city you are watching from. Let us see how far this story travels tonight. Let me take you back to the beginning, so you understand how a good man ends up on his knees in another man's courtyard. Baba Musa was a village man from a small town where the Harmattan wind came early and the rains came late. He had a daughter, Zainab, and after his wife died giving birth to her, he raised that girl with nothing but his 2 hands and his faith. There was no money for school fees in the village. So Baba Musa did what many fathers before him had done. He left everything he knew and traveled to the city, looking for the work that could feed his daughter's future. An old pastor from his church made one phone call, and that call changed his life. "There is a big compound in the city," the pastor said, "owned by a wealthy family called the Okafors. They need a gateman. The pay is small, the hours are long, but if you are honest, it will take care of you." "That is all I'm asking for," Baba Musa said. "Just a chance to be honest and still eat." He got the job, and for 11 years, that gate never opened for a stranger. Not one visitor slipped past him unchecked. Not one delivery went missing. The old Chief Okafor himself, used to joke that Baba Musa guarded that gate tighter than his accountants guarded his money. Baba Musa would only smile and say, "I am only doing my job, sir." His daughter grew up far away, in the village, under his sister's care, and every report card she sent made him cry tears of joy. When she got the best score in her class, he held that paper to his chest like it was gold. When she got admission into university to study law, he fell to his knees right there at the gate and thanked God out loud, because he knew, somewhere in his spirit, that all his suffering was finally about to make sense. But my friend, understand something about this life. The moment things start to look up for a poor man, somebody somewhere starts to feel threatened. There was a man in that compound named Ajiro, the estate manager, the one who wore suits and carried himself like royalty, but who was drowning quietly in debt nobody knew about. Ajiro had been stealing from the family for years, small amounts here, false invoices there, enough to keep his lifestyle afloat while pretending to be loyal. And one night, Baba Musa, simply doing his rounds, saw something he was not supposed to see. Ajiro meeting a stranger by the storage building, exchanging goods that should never have left that estate. Baba Musa did not accuse anybody. He was not that kind of man. But Ajiro saw the way the gateman looked at him, and fear does something dangerous to a guilty man. It makes him strike first. So Ajiro paid a young technician to alter old camera footage, just enough to make it look like Baba Musa had entered the family's private storage room at night, just enough to turn an innocent, loyal servant into a thief in front of the very family he had protected for 11 years. And that is how we arrived at the courtyard, with an old man on his knees and a lie standing tall above him. Now let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself when you answer. If you worked somewhere for 11 years, gave everything you had, and one lie destroyed it in a single morning, would you still have the strength to believe things would turn around? Because Baba Musa did. He walked home that night with nothing but his bag and his faith, and he told his daughter on the phone, "Do not worry about me. Focus on your studies. I will manage." But inside, his heart was breaking. His daughter Zainab could not sit still with that. She had grown up watching her father give up everything for her, and something in her refused to accept that his story would end in shame. So she did something bold. She traveled all the way to the city, to the very gate her father used to guard, and she demanded to see someone, anyone, who could tell her the truth. By fate, or maybe by something bigger than fate, she was met by Ifeoma, the old chief's daughter, the same woman Baba Musa had once quietly protected years earlier, when she came home late one night in trouble. And he never told a soul, never judged her, simply made sure she got inside safely. Ifeoma had never forgotten that kindness. When she heard the gateman's daughter was standing at the gate crying, something inside her said, "This is not over." That night, Ifeoma went to her father and said the words that cracked the whole case open. "Watch the footage yourself. Properly this time." Something about that morning never sat right with me. Pull the original files, not the copy Ajiro showed you. And there it was, buried underneath a cover-up, a timestamp from 3 weeks earlier, nowhere close to the night Baba Musa was accused. The technician, weighed down by guilt, confessed everything. Ajiro had paid him to fabricate the footage to save himself. Before we continue, I want to pause this story here, because we are already 60% in, and I need you to do something for me. If this story is touching something in you right now, comment the word justice below, because you already know what is coming next. The old chief, once he understood what had truly happened, could not look himself in the mirror. 11 years of unwavering loyalty had been repaid with suspicion and public shame, all because one dishonest man was protecting himself. He personally traveled to Baba Musa's small rented room that very night to apologize, and it was not a small apology either. "Your job is waiting for you," he said, "with full back pay, and an apology from everyone under my roof. But that is not all. I want you to manage my entire estate, the position Ajiro disgraced. A man of your integrity is exactly what this family needs." Ajiro was arrested that same week, charged with fraud and falsification, and the truth he tried so desperately to bury ended up burying him instead. But here is the part that will stay with you long after this video ends. As Baba Musa settled into his new role, an old land dispute resurfaced, one that connected his own late father to the Okafor family in ways nobody expected. A dying old man came forward and confessed that Baba Musa's father had been silenced decades earlier for refusing to give up land that was rightfully his. Land the current chief's own father had taken through deception and blood. The very family Baba Musa had faithfully served for 11 years was standing on a debt owed to his bloodline long before he was even born. When the truth came out, the chief did not hide from it. He made it right publicly, restored what was stolen, and built a scholarship in the name of the father Baba Musa barely remembered, starting with his own granddaughter, Zainab, who was now studying to become the very kind of lawyer who fights for people like her father used to be. Baba Musa stood at the gate one final time, not as a servant, but as a free man who had waited patiently for justice. And he said something his daughter never forgot. "This gate almost broke me." But it did not break me. It just had not opened yet, to who I was always meant to become. Here is the lesson I want you to carry with you tonight. Loyalty and honesty may not be rewarded immediately, and sometimes it feels like the world is punishing you for doing the right thing. But truth has a way of resurfacing, no matter how deep someone tries to bury it. If you are going through a season where you feel unseen, unappreciated, or wrongly judged, do not let it turn your heart bitter. Stay faithful to who you are, because your breakthrough is often closer than it looks. Tell me honestly, have you ever stayed patient through a painful season, trusting that the truth would eventually come out? Drop your answer in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe, because there is another story waiting for you, and it might just be the one you needed to hear.